I need to learn how to practice my what do you call it? Your vocal exercises and warm-ups, yeah.
La be dame ni po tu 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 la.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
This is the Alwaysmore podcast.
All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Alwaysmore podcast. Hello. Here we believe that there is always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversations, and deeper understanding. Today on the pod, we're talking about our reviews and recommendations of the week, things in the news you probably didn't hear about, stealing submarines, cats on a plane, stealing playground equipment, the great mystery of ghosts, shower thoughts with Chris, listener questions, and so much more. But first, a simple welcome. Hello, Tim.
Hello!
My best friend. My guiding light.
Aw.
I'm stealing all your intros.
Thanks.
That's really all I got.
You're right. There is so much pressure with that. It's like, oh.
See? I'm trying to tell you, man.
I don't know if I want that in my life.
It's a lot. I'm already responsible for 2 children and a wife. Like, I don't know if I can handle extra people on top of that.
I don't need that extra pressure in my life.
How's it going, man?
Dude, it's going good. I'm glad that you and I are sitting in the same room. We have good microphones.
Finally, right?
We're alive. We're healthy.
Mostly.
Mostly?
Well, I have diabetes, so.
Chris! Oh, yes, you do. Yeah, you're accurate on that, but you're okay, right?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I'm not dying. I mean, we're all kind of dying in a Sylvia Plath, Tibetan monk sort of way, but outside of that, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah, we're alive. We're breathing. I'm glad that we're okay. We're all okay here. Everything's fine. It's okay. How are you?
We're coming to check on you.
I'm ready to do this podcast. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm happy. We got energy drinks.
As per usual.
Right, per usual. We got doing a podcast with your best friend. Life's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
It's really nice. It's been a relaxing day for me. I worked for a little bit, but
yeah,
I make my own hours, so it's been a good day.
It's good. Yeah, I worked from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 actually, but
working 8 to 5. That's all I know of that song. It's not even 8 to 5. It's 9 to 5. Yeah.
Isn't that Dolly Parton?
Probably. I feel like I would know more about it.
Someone's screaming at me, telling me I'm wrong right now. That's probably what's happening. It's like, no, it's actually this person.
It probably is Dolly Parton.
It sounds like Dolly Parton. I don't know.
It's a good song. I'll give it to Dolly Parton even if it's not her.
I remember it I think it was in a musical that Jessica brought me to. Oh, man. Now Jessica's going to get at me. She's going to be the one yelling.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's get this thing going because we got some good, fun stuff to talk about. I'm really excited about this episode. Dude, let's just dive in.
All right.
Let's do it, man. Let's talk about, we're still coming up with a name. People, we need you. We need you to come up with a name for us because we are not creative enough to come up with a name for this segment. But we need reviews and recommendations of the week. That's the pending title. Not pending. That's the temporary.
That's the one we've been using. So I think you're an amateur. I'm an amateur.
Correct.
We're definitely not professional at this.
No.
And we're reviewing things. So as of right now, we're just going to call it amateur reviews.
Reviews.
And we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
That's the time in the pod where 2 unprofessional people give you their opinions on things that you did not ask for. So what do you got for me, Tim?
All right. So there's more things. I love watching movies and documentaries and shows and stuff. So that's just my thing. I love to dig into those things. And recently, there are 2 things that I watched or concluded that I really liked. One was a documentary called Operation Odessa. Have you heard anything about this?
Nothing.
Okay, so let me give you some context, okay? This is the 1980s, 1990s, and it's all about the, is it Medina cartel? Hold on. Medellin. Say it for me. I can't say Spanish.
Spell it.
Medellll and the I with a little thing mark.
I don't know.
Medellin.
You would think so, Medellin.
Yeah, it was Pablo Escobar's.
I don't know.
Okay, anyways. Okay, so the whole context is Pablo Escobar. If you guys don't know who he is, he was a drug lord, dealer. Literally, he made more money. I think he was like number 3 at the time. Made the most money in the whole world. Incredibly horrible, selling cocaine, all this stuff. He's a horrible human being, but anyways.
Wonderful business acumen.
I mean, and okay, so there's that in the background. And then the documentary is about this guy named Tiger. Or he's one of the main guys. And he was this Russian guy who tried to make he came to the U.S. in New York in like late 1980s. And then he moved down to Florida in Miami. He started this strip club. Listen, guys, it's an interesting documentary. I'm not recommending anything that's happening in the documentary. And so he starts a strip club, but then he gets connected with the cartel, and essentially him and a few other partners start doing things for Pablo Escobar and the cartel, including one big thing they did is they stole helicopters. Now, here's some important context. Is during, I think it was 1993, 92, the Soviet Union collapsed. And so at the time, like there was a government, but it wasn't like super organized or like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just all. Here's what happened.
It was a rudimentary government.
Correct. So these guys, Tiger and a few of their friends, they go to Russia and they just buy 2 helicopters. Now, in mind, Pablo Escobar is, like I said, filthy rich. Filthy rich.
Right.
So they use his money, go buy 2 helicopters, take it from Russia, and bring it all the way back to Colombia. That's where Pablo is at. And then Pablo and them had a great idea. Let's get a submarine. It's hard to get our drugs from Colombia to the United States. Let's get a submarine.
That's what every young drug lord needs.
Right. So Tiger and these guys, they start working on it. And they actually go to Russia. They meet up with some generals. They meet up with some of these guys there. And they actually talk about and get close to actually getting a submarine. They take pictures in it. I mean, think about this. Ordinary they're not ordinary, but non-military people, civilians, are purchasing a submarine. Now, here's how close it got.
That's your Second Amendment at its works right there.
I mean, that's at its peak. Okay, so they got the money. Pablo gave these guys the money, and then they were betrayed by this name guy, Nelton Yester. And he was one of the guys that was working out the deal, and he just stole half the money and ran away.
Smart.
Right, which prevented them from getting the submarine, and all these other things happened where everyone got caught and put in jail and all kind of fun stuff like that. But anyways, Operation Odessa, very interesting. I think I saw it on Amazon Prime. Very intriguing and very I'm excited talking about it.
Sounds like a crazy story.
It is a crazy, wild story. Okay, and then the last thing, and I know you're going to be involved with this too because you finished it and you watched it, and that was freaking WandaVision.
Oh my God. That was such a good show.
Okay.
No spoilers, though.
No spoilers. I mean, why not, though? It's been 2 weeks.
That's enough for any Marvel fan, for sure, any comics fan, but for the casual viewer...
Okay. I won't spoil anything. Let me... Chris, what did you think? I mean, I agree with you. Wonderful show. But what did you feel like at the end of the last episode? What did you feel?
I felt a range of emotions, questions beyond belief, but I loved the ride.
Yes.
I know I woke up the next Friday, not knowing what to do with my life because my show was over.
Right.
But it was a fun ride.
Yes.
I really appreciated the way they tied in the TV tropes of the decades for the first few episodes. So, you got the black and whites from the 50s, and then when they jumped to the 80s, you could see all the different styles and the haircuts and all that. When they did the 2000s, it was that Modern Family style.
Yes.
The interviews and all of that with the hidden camera.
Right.
I really liked it. The camera work was great. The writing was phenomenal. Costuming was great.
Yeah.
Come on. It was such a good show.
Okay, so catch this. I remember hearing this, but I didn't actually know. I want to look it up. So the budget, you know how much money or how much each episode cost for WandaVision?
I'm guessing probably about half the budget of a movie, of a Marvel movie.
I actually don't know how much that normally is, but each episode, and there's 9 episodes? It was $25 million per episode.
Holy crap.
$25 million
per episode.
I think, and if I remember hearing this in a podcast, but the closest to that in a TV show was Lost, and they only had $11 million per episode. these guys were not messing around with this show. They put some quality. They put their money where their mouth was. I mean, I loved it. I remember not walking out. It's not a movie theater. Oh, those were the days. I remember, after I was watching it, I remember loving the show and also wanting more. And I guess that's a good thing. But I remember just like there's so many things that are like, I wish they could have concluded this. I know they're trying to keep people hooked and stuff, but it's like,
Right.
I need a little bit more answers. I need a few more things. I need to feel a little bit more resolution. It was good, but I need a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's where I ended at.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, there's definitely going to be more, though. This is just like one of the first pieces of Phase 4.
True.
And Marvel is not one to disappoint.
Very true. Very true. All right, I've talked too much. Chris, what did you watch? What do you recommend?
Okay, so my recommendations of the week, there's a show on Netflix called Good Girls. It stars Christina Hendricks and a few other people, but it's basically the story of these 3 women that get themselves into financial straits, like nothing outside of like normal life.
Right.
But the way they decide to deal with it, rather than getting a second job or selling Mary Kay or whatever, they decide to rob a grocery store.
Oh, naturally.
Which, sounds like it'd be fine. There's a couple $100,000 in the back,
Yeah.
They'd split it 3 ways, pay their bills, and be done. But what they didn't realize when they knocked over the grocery store is that the grocery store was actually the front for a local gang.
Nice.
So they ended up with millions of dollars, and the gang tracked them down. And so, it's kind of a comedy, kind of an action thriller mystery show. It covers a wide range.
Yeah.
You're following these 3 distinct individual women. 2 of them are sisters. One of them is their best friend. Shows their family life, how they're like combining that with the new financial level they're in, plus the fact that they're all just inducted into this gang now. It's got 3 seasons. It's really good. I would suggest definitely checking that
Good
one out.
Girls. Okay.
Good Girls. It's so great. It also has Matthew Lillard in it.
Who's that?
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
He's
stuff.
a great actor.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Phenomenal show. I would definitely suggest that one.
Now you're talking about the original Scooby-Doo, or like the
The
original live action.
The live action Scooby-Doos,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. All right. And then second suggestion, this one was on HBO Max. So if you don't have it, get it.
Do you have HBO Max?
I do. Do you not?
No. Why didn't you tell me? I could have been using your password.
No, you're not supposed to do that. Wink.
Winky face.
I thought you knew. I thought you had it.
No.
Okay.
No, I've been using someone else's.
Well, there you go. Well, if you have someone else's, you don't need mine. There you go.
That's true. It's true. Still, okay. Whatever.
All right.
Go
So
on.
this movie was Melissa McCarthy
Okay. Yeah.
and James Corden, and this one is called Super Intelligence.
Okay.
With Melissa McCarthy and James Corden. Hilariously, it's
Yeah. Brilliant.
And then all the people that are usually in Melissa McCarthy's movies, her own husband is one of the FBI agents.
You're right.
So this movie is about the most average woman on the face of the planet. Just like literally the most average, picked out by an artificial intelligence program to determine whether humans are worth saving or if they need to be just wiped out entirely and the planet given the chance to restart. So the super intelligence just randomly shows up like on her TV and over her radio, her phone, like any way you can communicate with a super intelligent AI.
Yeah.
And it starts like, it's talking to her. It's like, hey, look, you're the most average person in the world. And she's just like, ouch, thanks, I guess. And he's like, I'm just going to observe you for a few days and determine whether or not to kill all of humanity. Objectively, like, there's no malice behind it.
No pressure.
Yeah, he's not like, I'm going to destroy everything. It's like no malice. He's just like, is this the best thing or what's the deal?
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch you for a few days. So like he puts money in her bank account. He gets her like a Tesla with the auto driving thing, of course, so he can control where she goes.
Naturally, yeah.
Sets her up on dates and just kind of wants to observe the full human perspective. And it's a really cool movie.
Interesting.
Obviously, Melissa McCarthy is hilarious in it because she's hilarious in everything she does. And I would definitely suggest that one for a laugh.
Cool. Nice. All right. Well, definitely put it on my the ever expanding list that I have. I will put it on there.
Yeah, but we talked about this already. All my stuff goes to the top.
Okay, if you say so. All right, well, hey, we got another segment, a new one that we introduced last week that I really love, and I think it's really exciting, and it's called I Don't Know Who Needed to Hear This, but Okay, I don't know who needed to hear this, but if you can smell yourself just even a little bit, others can smell you a lot.
Truth.
We are desensitized to our own personal fragrance. So if it makes it past your brain that you smell, other people can definitely smell you.
And it's nasty. Though.
It is nasty. Junior high boys, I'm talking about you. Put on
Always.
that deodorant.
Yeah, please. If I can't smell my deodorant actively, I'm trying to take a shower or put on more deodorant or something.
Right.
Like if like there's no smell, I just assume it's bad.
Yep.
So that's my thing. I don't know who needed to hear this, but the geese at the park are not your friends.
Oh,
Geese are not nice.
it's true. They're evil.
And if you see a swan at the lake, just
Run.
leave.
Yeah.
It's not even worth your time.
No.
Don't take your kids out. Don't try to take selfies. Run.
I love it. It's like watching those stupid videos on the internet where people are like, "Oh, it'd be a great selfie. Let's go up there." No, those things will poke out your
Yeah,
eyes.
no, like you
will-
can hang out with ducks. Ducks are cool.
Right.
Ducks are chill. My daughter loves ducks. But when the geese start coming, we start running.
Yeah, get out.
It's not safe.
It's not safe. All right. Well, hey, that was a fun, quick segment.
Yeah, it was. I like that one. We should keep that one around for a while. Next up, though, let's move on to What Did I Miss? We got to keep doing that. Do it again. Do it again. Love it. All right. So this...
Okay, sorry.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So this is the part of the show where we like to present you with some news this week that you probably didn't hear about.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play my video for you guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because
I'm so excited about this.
this one it got me.
A man in Washington state is under arrest after police say he sawed off a 400-pound slide from a playground, repainted it, and mounted it on a child's bunk bed in his mobile home.
So this story it really got me. It's from Pasco, Washington. Police in Washington say that a man stole a 400-pound slide from a park and mounted it to the bed in his home for his kid. The police tweeted about it. There's a picture of him, and he looks exactly how you would expect. I'm going to send this to you, Tim, so you can put this in the notes.
Yes.
30-year-old Dustin Allen Bushnell. Police said that he was booked on an investigative hold for possession of stolen property. And usually when you hear that, you think like, oh, yeah, he may have stole like a street sign or he like robbed somebody's house and took something out of their yard or whatever. No, it was a 400-pound slide from the park.
The dedication.
Like, that is the dad who loves his kids.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing out
and
of
makes
this.
terrible decisions at the same time. Like, I don't know if I'm more proud, more upset, or more impressed.
It's one of those things. It's like, that's going to make a really great story one day. It's like, it's a really dumb move, but if everything works out and, he pay off all the fines and, child grows up happy in a good, stable home, that's going to be a hilarious story one day.
Yeah. What does a slide cost? Is that grand larceny or is that just like regular theft? Like,
I don't know. I mean, it's public no, it's not public property. What is it?
It depends on the park, I guess. If it's like a public park or if it's like one from his neighborhood.
Yeah.
How'd he get the slide to his house?
That is a great...
That's a 400-pound slide.
That's a heavy thing. How did you get it in the house?
What did he use to mount it?
Ooh. We should investigate more. I like that.
We're going to have to look into this.
Yes, we are.
If it's worth telling you guys next time, we will.
We will.
For now.
A 400... I mean, okay, I used to live in a mobile home, so I know, like, it's tight corners. It's a little confined, most of them are, and it's hard to get around. I'm trying to figure out how does dude fit anything that's over 400 pounds in this house?
With the same dedication that he has for his kids. That's how.
Was it like those stories you hear where like the car crash and the mom just has like this superpower to like be able to lift a car off their child? It's like
Mama bear strength.
Right.
But it's like Papa bear stupidity, I guess. You know what? My kids really love this slide. I'm going to bring it home.
Oh, that's good
I would
stuff.
not have arrested this guy.
No, I mean, it's like last week's. It's like,
Sorry, sir. You want me to go arrest a man who deadlifted a 400-pound slide?
Can we just give him a warning?
Sir, is that our slide? No. Your slide, I believe, was green.
Right.
This one is now blue. It's not the same slide.
I got
It's good enough for me.
I got it from my slide guy. Okay,
I have a guy.
I have a guy. All right. So for my my what did I miss? Okay. The name of the article is Angry Cat Attacks Pilot Forcing Plane to Make Emergency Landing.
What?
Okay. I'm going to just read from the article because I can't do this. A Tarco Airlines Boeing 737 was already 30 minutes into its flight from, I can't pronounce this, Khartoum, Sudan, to Qatar's capital when the cat suddenly emerged in the cockpit, according to the February 25th report. Likely alarmed by its unfamiliar surroundings and people, the cat instantly went on the offensive, attacking the pilot. I can't get through it. Went on the offensive, attacking the pilot and resisting attempts to catch it. The whole scene led the pilot to head back to Khartoum to safely remove the feline passenger. As noted by the UK's Metro, local reports characterized the cat as aggressive and angry.
So it was basically just a regular cat then.
It was just a regular cat that somehow got into the plane. Like it wasn't like a passenger cat. Like no one like brought this cat onto the plane. It just was at the airport and snuck in. And then when they took off, it flipped out, got into the cockpit, started attacking. But could you imagine being that pilot?
I can't get a bottle of water onto a plane. And somehow this cat is just like, I guess I'm going to the capital city of Qatar.
Look, people, this is a wake-up call, okay? If they can bring a cat into
They can get anything on there.
If they can weaponize this cat, dude, it's all done with. It's over.
Maybe this was like a trial run. Like we're just going to start seeing cats all over the news. Local cat in an airplane. Oh, man. This cat, like, he popped out and chose violence.
He didn't choose fear. He didn't choose to run away. He chose to go at him. Like,
you put me here. We didn't put you here. You put me here. We didn't put you here. I'll kill you all. What are you doing, cat?
What I want to know is, like, did he, like, attack from behind or from up front? I want to imagine that this cat, like, jumped into the front of the cockpit, faced them, and just charged at their faces.
Like, I'm visualizing this cat, like, coming out from behind the steering wheel, like, oh, yes, excuse me, hello. Now that I am here. Hiya!
Oh,
that is insane.
I love the internet.
The internet is a gift that keeps on giving. I'll tell you that.
Oh, man. Is that it, Chris?
I think that's it for now. Let's go ahead and take a quick little break, and we will be right back with you guys. We're back.
We're back.
So our main topic for the day, we're going to talk about this one. Let me get this sound ready for Tim to go ahead and give it to us. Ghosts.
Yes.
I know you can't see it, but I'm doing that weird thing where it's like jazz hands, but like spirit fingers.
You're doing
slow.
You're doing Wanda's
like the WandaVision finger.
Yes.
Twisty hand, creepy, ghosty thing. Yeah, so today we're talking about ghosts, which is by far one of my least favorite topics.
You are okay. For the record, everyone, when you're listening to this, okay, I want it to be perfectly clear. Hey, Chris, what should we talk about in the next podcast? Huh? Here's a list of ideas. We can talk about millennial dad fatherhood. We can talk about I don't know, all these really big topics. Here's Ghost. If you want to talk about that, yeah, let's do that one. Okay.
Yeah, well, ghosts. They always tell you face your fears. They never tell you how to face your fears.
Very true.
So I'm making a podcast about it. That's what I'm doing. That's how I face my fears. So we're talking about ghosts today.
Yeah.
And ghosts have a really, really big lake that you could dive into as far as information and theories and questions and all that kind of crazy stuff. But we're going to start with, what are they? So according to Google, Wikipedia, a ghost is the soul or spirit of a dead person or animal that can appear to the living. In ghost lore, descriptions of ghosts vary widely from an invisible presence to a translucent or barely visible wispy shape to realistic lifelike forms. The overwhelming consensus of science is that there is no proof that ghosts exist. That's what science says. There's no
History
proof.
Channel would differ, okay? That's all I gotta
it's
say.
always ghosts or aliens, right? There's never anything else that it could be.
Yeah.
So the overwhelming consensus, ghosts don't exist. Their existence is impossible to falsify, however, and ghost hunting has been classified as pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Despite centuries of investigations, there is no scientific evidence that any location is inhabited by the spirits of the dead. So there's no scientific proof that ghosts exist.
However, I will say, I will say, I do remember when I was like middle school and high school, I would stay up like till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would see those episodes on the History Channel or Discovery Channel or whatever it was, and they were like bringing in those whatever detectors they have, and
The
like
spectrometers.
yeah, and they would test out like, oh, is this audio? I swear I heard something.
See? This is why I don't mess with this stuff. This is why I don't mess with this stuff.
I swear I heard.
You talk about it and it happens.
I thought it was just like one of my kids' toys or something, but I swear I heard something. Okay. Anyways, but I remember like being like tense about it. I'm like, oh crap, is this can this actually be real? I'm like, is this no?
Yes.
I get how people can get like stirred up about this stuff. I mean, we see it in our culture. We see it. I mean, we're going to talk about it in a second, but it's everywhere. It's like,
oh yeah,
there are so many things. I mean, who has it? Who has it in the middle of the night? You wake up and you're like half asleep and you're half awake, and you're like getting a drink of water, or maybe you just hear something and you just look around and you know there is nothing over there. You know there is nothing in that corner. You
but
put your laundry over there.
You get scared to look into the corner.
You don't want to get
case.
up. You don't want to get up. You're like, you know what? On the 99.99% chance or the 0.001% chance that there is something over there, I'm not going to risk it. You know, I'm good
don't
right here.
Don't want to look. Don't want to get near it. Don't want to move. Maybe if I just stay here under the blanket, it can't get me.
Right.
I mean, I'm one that I won't put my foot out of the blanket in my own bedroom. And my house is like blessed with holy water and prayed over. My wife sages all the time.
Yeah.
It's just something I don't mess with, to be honest with you. I don't even watch the movies, man. Ghosts freak me out so much. All right, so getting into a little more of the history of this then. One of the most frequently reported ghost sightings in England dates back to the 16th century. Anne Boleyn.
Who?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn. Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
Not the band Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn. She was the second wife of King Henry VIII and the mother of Queen Elizabeth I. Yeah, we all know King Henry VIII.
Ooh.
He had 6 wives. She was the second of them, and she was the mother of Queen Elizabeth I. She was executed at the Tower of London in May of 1536 after being accused of witchcraft, treason, incest, and adultery. You know, the kind of things that you don't want the person that you're killing to come back and haunt you with.
No, not at all.
I feel like if I thought somebody was a witch, I wouldn't kill them.
No.
I would just
No.
move them somewhere.
No, just
And I would make sure that they were as happy as possible.
yeah.
Like, hey, could you do your witchy thing somewhere else and not near me?
Look,
What do you need?
You do your thing, I do my thing, okay?
We're just gonna go to the different sides of the country here. What do you need to be happy? That's what I would have done. But no, he decided to kill her. And then sightings of her ghost would be reported all over the tower and the castle grounds and other various locations. So that's probably one of the most historically known ghosts, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anne Boleyn. Looking at America's own rich tradition of ghosts, because we're America.
There's plenty of them, yeah.
So many, oh my God. But diving into America's own rich tradition of historical ghosts, one you wouldn't think too much about, Ben Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin.
Ben Franklin's ghost has been seen all over Pennsylvania. He has a statue there that has been said to come to life. There are tons of ghost sightings that have been reported at the White House, you know, former presidents and things like that. One of the biggest ones at the White House, Abe Lincoln.
Not surprised. I would, you know what? If I was Abraham Lincoln, I would come back and haunt all these guys.
I gave you guys a country. I brought you back together, and you're tearing yourselves apart again.
Andrew Jackson, dude, you, seriously? As soon as I leave, you mess all this up again? Seriously?
I was just here. Oh, man. Could you just imagine how mad Abe Lincoln's ghost would be right after he dies? I would just come back and complain about the theater. If it were me. Like, if I were Abe Lincoln, I would haunt the theater. Like, only the theater.
Come back to the guy who's in charge of security. I freaking told you to check that the back door, dude. Did you lock it?
I would stay in my own little box where he was assassinated. You're in my spot. Oh, man. No, seriously, though. At the White House, you know, everyone from first ladies to queens, prime ministers, they've all reported seeing some kinds of ghosts. So these are like people of well-renown. Like, they hold high political office. They were elected or born into the right family, however you want to claim it. But they are reporting ghosts. They felt the presence of Abraham Lincoln. especially during the administration of FDR, which I
Ooh.
don't know if that says something about our country.
I don't like that.
Abe Lincoln haunted FDR, like, specifically.
Ugh, I don't
But
like that.
there you go. Take it for what it is.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It should.
I don't like that.
You don't need to.
I don't even believe in ghosts, and this is not even a.
I absolutely believe in ghosts.
I don't. like
100%.
this. Okay. Let's talk about the good and the bad. Not all ghosts, or by I guess lore, are evil, and not are all good. So some Native American tribes were wary of spirits of their friends and relatives coming back, not to intentionally harm, but through fear of loneliness, they thought the spirits might try to take others with them to the afterlife.
Yeah,
So
so
it's not a
like
bad gig.
in the Chippewa Nation, I know like Ojibwe people would put ashes on kids' heads, kind of like Catholics do for Lent.
Oh yeah.
But that was just to show that child did not want to go with the newly deceased person. So if their spirit did come back, they would be lonely. They'd be looking to take someone with them.
Yeah.
It wasn't like out of malice or anything. It just,
Right.
you're scared and you're alone and you want to go with someone. So the parents would put ashes on their kids' heads to tell the spirit, hey, don't take my kid.
Yeah.
And it usually worked, I guess. It's
I
a
guess.
tradition that still like goes.
Do you know how old that tradition is?
I do not, but it's Chippewa Nation, so it's got to be crazy old.
Well, because I'm just like I'm paralleling this off of with the Israelites and pouring blood over their doorpost to when Moses was in Israel and the plagues were happening and they put the blood over the doorpost to protect them. What a stark parallel! I mean, that's crazy.
That's the kind of stuff that I come to with like spiritualism versus religion nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, you can say what you want about whether or not God is real, but the First Nations people and Native Americans have the same like creation story, and they have the same story of redemption as these Judeo-Christian religions.
Right.
And it's crazy how parallel they are before the priests and the whatever you want to call them.
Europeans
the
colonized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they even got here, like they already had these beliefs, which is why it was so easy to colonize those people with religion, because they were like, oh yeah, that story that you have, it's the same thing. You just change the name of creator to God. You change the son of the creator to Jesus, and you can keep your own stories.
Dude, that's so wild. Because there's even a passage in Scripture, and I think it was in Romans, where Paul basically says, like, God makes himself known through all creation. And so, because you have to think about it, it's like, okay, you have the Bible that takes place for over, a few thousand years, but even then, it wasn't distributed until, like, centuries later. And so you have so many other cultures that had no idea about anything that's happening on that side of the world for millennia.
Right.
So how did they know about God? How did they hear about, Jesus? And that's, oh man, that's interesting.
How did they have morality if morality is supposed to just be from God? It's one of those crazy things.
It is. Oh, I like that. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Sorry, getting back to ghosts though.
Ghost.
Yeah, so those tribes would do that. They would put the ashes on to protect their children from ghosts. And that's just a weird coincidence type thing, I guess, that it lines up with that.
Interesting.
But it shows that the Jewish people also did the same thing to protect their kids from, from the angel of death. But who's to say that that's not a ghost to them as well?
Yeah, solid. Yeah.
Now, there are all kinds of stories and movies about helpful ghosts too, though, like the Charles Dickens story.
Oh,
you know, the ghost of Christmas present, past, and future, or Christmas to come, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
They were just helping Scrooge, fix his life.
Yeah.
Helping all the people around him. They weren't necessarily out to get him or anything. They were just showing him, what life could be, or what life was, or what it currently is. So they weren't like trying to hurt him. They were actually trying to help him. So those are the kind of like helpful ghosts. And then, there are also the evil, murdery, Bloody Mary style ghosts where they're literally just out there to kill you. So, those are the ghosts that I feel like I would deal with more just because of my luck. Like, dealing with ghosts are always the scary ones. It's never like, hey, Chris, you forgot your keys. Oh, thanks, Mr. Ghost. It's never one of those ghosts. It's always the ones where I was like, if you leave your bed, I will kill you.
You feel like it's like an assignment, or do you get to choose when you become a ghost? Like, all right, you want to be the super nice one, or you want to be a murdery one?
I was a nice guy in my life. I think I'll be a murdery ghost. Do you get to pick your location? Like, is it just like places that you've been that you haunt, or do you you go back, can you just be like a wandering ghost?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You know, I know I'm going to hear this from my wife because I cannot. Well, I guess we'll talk about it later. Because one of the ghosts that I'm thinking of right now is in a popular show that I know my wife watches, and I'll get to that in a minute. But you got to think, it's like, let's go travel a little bit. Let's go see the world. I mean, can you travel? Can you get on a plane? Can you just cross the river?
Maybe you
the
just
ocean?
possess a cat.
Oh, no way!
Oh, full
No,
circle.
There it is.
Possess a cat, travel the world.
Okay, all right, let's move on, dude.
Yeah. So a second ago we were talking about, the Bible and stuff, how ghosts relate to religion and things like that.
Yeah.
So both of us are pretty well versed in Christian study, Christian theory, Christian theology.
I'm so.
That's what we are. We grew up Christian. We're
Very much so.
church kids, for
PK.
sure. So let's talk about ghosts in the Bible.
Yeah.
Starting with one of my favorite ghosts, King Saul went one time to see the Witch of Endor, which is not just a forest moon.
So crazy.
But he went to see the Witch of Endor, and he had no idea what he was supposed to be doing. They were in a time of war, and he wasn't hearing from God. Samuel had died recently, so he had no prophet. So he asked the Witch of Endor to bring up the ghost of Samuel.
Guys, this is real.
This is in the Bible.
This is in the Bible. Yeah, I'm going to look it up real quick.
I think it's Kings, First Kings.
That makes sense.
I'm not positive, though. But anyway, he goes to see the Witch of Endor, has her summon Samuel, which, first and foremost, he wasn't just chilling there. Like, she had to work to summon the ghost of Samuel.
Yeah.
And when he got back, he was mad. He was pissed. He's like, "What are you doing summoning me? This is not okay." Like, he was mad about it, right? And he came with all kinds of, like, doom and gloom warnings. And, the very next day, Saul ended up dying on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Which, again, goes to show you should not mess with this stuff.
That's what you get.
You mess with ghosts, you get the horns. That's a saying, right? You mess with the ghost, you get the horns. Is that the thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure it's a bull, but whatever.
Something like that.
You can replace bull with ghost.
Oh,
Either way.
gosh.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite ghost stories because it shows all the warnings and all the reasons that you don't mess with ghosts, even
Right.
if they're your friends.
Even
It's
if
not
they're your
worth it.
friends. Chris, if I die and I become a ghost, just don't mess with me, man.
I'm not.
By the way, that is found in 1 Samuel 28. If you're
1
looking
Samuel.
it up, it's real. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yep, he definitely goes to a witch and definitely sums up Samuel, and he definitely talks to this ghost. It is right there in Scripture. Okay, so another one. This also kind of just depends on your definition of what a ghost is. But let's talk about Jesus, because Jesus, I mean, theoretically, he doesn't deny that ghosts are not a thing. So the story is Jesus is walking on water. His disciples see this figure walking on water, and they can't see who it is. And they're like, "Oh man, it's a ghost!" And Jesus is like, "Guys, shut up. It's me." Okay, that's basically what he says. This is Tim translation here. Bruh. But here's the interesting part about this is that he doesn't deny that ghosts are like fake or anything, like are real. Like, he doesn't like go, "Guys, ghosts aren't real. It's just me. Chill out."
Yeah, he just says, "Yeah, I'm not a ghost. I'm Jesus." And they're like, "Oh, cool, chill. Yeah, you're just Jesus. That's fine."
Oh, okay, we're good.
Wait, are you saying there's? Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah. So Jesus, I mean, take it as you will. He didn't deny. He didn't deny it.
No, he actually, I think the direct quote was, "Touch me and see. A ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have."
I mean, that sounds like confirmation to me.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I mean, if I were a ghost, I wouldn't have flesh and bones." And everybody's like, "Oh yeah, no, you've got flesh and bones, so you're not a ghost."
Makes sense. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, I'm just going to cut right to it because I know this is the next thing that we're going to. But I mean, you have, and this is one of my favorite examples in Scripture, is when Jesus is going up the mountain to talk and pray, and he brings, I can't remember how many. I think it was only two of his disciples. I think it was his closest. I think it was Peter and
John.
John.
It was Peter, John, and John's brother, I think.
I should know this. Whatever. He brings
there were three.
Yeah. He brings them up to this mountain, and he goes, "All right, guys, just chill here." And then all of a sudden, he's just talking to Elijah and Moses,
just like floating in the sky,
just having a conversation.
And the disciples see this, and they're like, Jesus, bro."
So it really does depend on your definition of what a ghost is. But let's just make it clear that yes, it is actually possible, because we see it here, that if you're religious and you believe in the Bible and stuff, that yes, people who are no longer in their bodies can come back down to earth.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Jesus was no longer in his body. talking to Elijah and Moses, who are long dead.
Right. It is a thing. It is a thing. So the question is for us today, which is creepy or cool, however you want to look at it, is that still a thing that's happening today?
I think so, 100%.
You know, I was at the beginning of this podcast. I was like, no. But now that I'm re-looking back at some of this stuff, I'm like, you know what? Maybe.
I'll take a maybe. I'll take a maybe.
Maybe.
I can work with a maybe. Moving on from this one, though, because I know not everybody that we know is all about the Bible as far as proof. So let's look at some other stuff. How about ghosts in media?
Yeah, let's do it.
So like most media makes ghosts out to be fake, like, you know, Scooby-Doo or...
Scooby-Doo, where are you? You're going to join in?
No, I'm not going to join in.
I'm done then.
I told you, I want to be done with this topic as quick as possible.
Okay, sorry.
Most media makes ghosts be like something out of Scooby-Doo. People in costumes, you know, elaborate pranks, wires, and all that stuff.
Right.
There are videos all over YouTube of like haunted apartments that are just like clickbait. TikToks where people are like, oh, my lights are flickering on and off. And like, bro, you've got a Z-Wave light switch. You're doing that from your phone. I can see you. Like that kind of stuff. But there are also movies and shows that they're supposed to be fake, but they've got power behind them.
Right.
Movies like Annabelle or The Haunting at whatever Blythe Manor.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, like ghost movies, the kind of stuff that I don't watch and don't mess with. There's like a whole genre that I can't get behind with like malevolent ghosts that are trying to kill whatever main character. Like,
did you watch Paranormal Activity?
I did not.
Or any of them?
Nope, I didn't watch Paranormal Activity. I didn't watch Paranormal Blacktivity. No, Brent, I can't even watch like the comedy versions, like Scary Movie. That type of stuff gets me.
You couldn't do that one?
I think I've watched Scary Movie like 1 through 4, but I still
not
like
5 through 20.
No, they still freak me out. Like, I mean, like, I can give you the synopsis of any one of these ghost movies, though, based on the very limited information that I have. Like, give me a ghost movie. I'll tell you exactly what happens in it.
Sixth Sense.
So they're a ghost haunting. I know they haunt this little kid. I don't think I've ever seen Sixth Sense. Speaking of which, though, speaking of media, let's go over some of our favorite ghosts.
Let's do it.
So for me, obviously, like I said, I don't mess with the scary stuff.
Yeah.
So my top 3 favorite ghosts. Number 1, the Flying Dutchman.
From SpongeBob?
From SpongeBob. Yes. Like, that is probably one of the best. And even one of those episodes kind of scared me a little bit. I forget which one it was. But one of them, I think it was the one where he was like haunting SpongeBob and he turned into like a centipede and then a baby. And then like, that was scary for me. But he's probably one of my favorite depictions of ghosts, I think.
Yeah.
Especially the episode where he brought them on his ship.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Little. That was the best. Another one that I really enjoy, and I didn't like this one at first, but my wife is a big fan of the story and the movie, so we've watched it a few times, and, you know, as you watch it, you desensitize yourself to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yeah.
Again, still creepy, but the story behind it is a really cool story.
Right.
You know, all kinds of really cool stuff like that. Just having this, like, headless horseman riding around, cutting off people's heads that aren't doing what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, just being good people, really.
Is that Tim Burton?
He did a version of it, yeah. There are a bunch of different versions of the story, but yeah, Tim Burton did one with Johnny Depp.
That's the one, yeah.
Obviously, you know, Johnny Depp's in everything Tim Burton does.
Yeah.
And then Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Come on.
That's along my lines. Like, when I remember watching this one in the 90s when I was a little kid. I think I was like 5. And even that one got me a little bit when I was younger, but Casper the Friendly Ghost was probably the best depiction of ghosts to me.
Right.
Because he was so nice.
He was so nice.
He meant no harm to anyone. He protected people. He just wanted to go to the dance.
Oh.
So those are my top 3 favorite ghosts, I think.
All right, my top 3, and one I already mentioned was Malcolm Crowe, Sixth Sense. I really like that story. I like the movie, and just the mere fact that another interesting thought behind that is, do ghosts know they're ghost? Like, at what point do you figure it out? Like, do you just know, like, here you go, you're a ghost, or like, is it like something you figure out, like Malcolm did?
I guess that depends on the depiction of ghosts, because I know I watched an anime called Bleach a while back, which wasn't really ghosts. It was like spirits that whatever have you. But some didn't know that they were dead until somebody pointed it out to them. And then at that point, they either had the choice to go on to heaven or just become overcome by the grief that they are dead and turn into monsters. And so, I mean, it just depends on the depiction, I guess, whether they know or not.
Right. Anyways. All right. Next up, number 2 for me is Force Ghost Yoda. Dude,
how did that not make my list?
I don't know. I'm thoroughly surprised as well. And I picked Yoda specifically because dude is just like, he is the funny, I'm gonna haunt you, like make fun of you crap. Like when he comes back in The Last Jedi, he's just like all happy and giddy and like, oh, you don't want to burn that tree? I'll do it. Explosion.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan's Force Ghost is like super helpful. He's
right.
like, use the Force, Luke. But Yoda's just like, I'm gonna use lightning to burn a tree. You want your books? Why? Did you read them?
Right. Page turners, they are not.
It's like, those are the sacred texts. How many times have you read them, Luke?
Right.
I mean, I was gonna.
So yeah, I love Force Ghost Yoda, and then the last one is the Dead Men of Don Haro.
You pick the best ones. How did I not think of these?
I don't know, man. I don't know. If you guys don't know who that is the Army of the Dead from Return of the King and Lord of the Rings. It's
arguably the second best Lord of the Rings. I think.
Is first one your favorite?
No, Two Towers.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Two Towers is the best one.
My favorite is the third one, but
it's a close second for me.
But everyone I usually hear is the first one's their favorite. That's interesting. I never heard anyone say the second one's their favorite.
Fellowship is good. Two Towers is better. The Battle of Helm's Deep is what really sells me. That's what really sells me.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, but yeah, those are my 3 favorite. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah. So those are the top 6, I guess, favorite ghosts of your pod hosts.
That's a great name.
Pod host. We got to come up with names for everything. I heard a podcast recently, the one I mentioned in our last pod, Under Our Roof. They call their people house guests.
Oh, fun.
So we got to come up with like a name for our listeners and a name for ourselves. Yeah. I guess that's a thing.
Okay, dude. Personal experience. You ever see anything or resemble some kind of ghost?
Yes, all the time.
What are you talking about?
So I have night paralysis with my night terrors. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll see stuff and I'm like, oh God, if I move, I'm dying. Like, this is it. But I can't move, so it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I definitely know when I was a little kid, like one time I was walking through my house and I saw my grandfather sitting in a chair. Okay. And he had been dead for like years, like a few years.
Right.
And he was just sitting there smoking like he always did. And then I turn around to like see if anything else is around me. And when I look back at the chair, he's not there. So that kind of stuff, like I feel I haven't been like haunted.
Right.
But I've definitely seen ghosts.
And I guess that kind of goes back to why it's so important to like not diminish anyone's experience, because as far as we know, if you're religious, then you can definitely believe that there is such a thing as non-bodied people being down here on earth, whether they're summoned by Jesus or not.
Right.
It's possible.
Possible. Plausible, even.
Yes. I'll give you that. I personally have not. I can't think of anything. I mean, I've had those like little night, like there's something in the corner, but probably just a shadow of something. But I've never had that experience of like, okay, I saw a dead person or whatever. It's just never been there for me. Maybe because I wasn't looking hard enough.
Have you ever been to Maxdale Bridge in Killeen?
Nope.
Okay, so in Killeen, Texas, there's this bridge that's the site of a bunch of suicides. A school bus went over the edge of the bridge and a bunch of kids died. It's an awfully haunted place in Killeen. That's where all the high schoolers go, and they're like, oh, if you go to the bridge, it's, it is what it is. It's the scary place in Killeen. That's because you're not cool like me.
Yes.
Anyways, so if you take your car, you can put like baby powder or something on the hood of the car, and you just park your car, turn it off, and the story goes that your car will start to move.
No.
And then when you get out of the car later, you can see handprints of the kids trying to push you away from the bridge so your car doesn't end up like theirs. Helpful ghost. Still terrifying. I know several people that have done that. I was there one point by accident, and the car started moving on its own.
No, you didn't.
It could be magnetism. It could be a lot of things. There's a lot of different theories behind it.
Yeah.
We didn't do like the baby powder thing, so I don't know if we were being pushed by ghosts or not. But that is a real place in Killeen that's super haunted, and I've been to, and I did not enjoy my time there.
That's why the scientific process is so important.
What are you going to scientificize, Tim? How are you going to scientificize this?
There's experiments you could do with all this.
How?
I
Name
don't know.
Name one.
Look, I'm not a scientist, Chris. And I'm not diminishing your experience. I'm just saying let's test it out.
I feel like you are. I feel like you are.
Chris, I think we talked too much about ghosts. I think we should.
And we'll never talk about it again.
No.
We're done.
The one and only.
Let's pull our conclusions in. Real or not, Tim? What do you think?
Plausible. As far as what modern society views ghosts as, no. As far as, spirit beings that could possibly exist in this earth, yeah, sure.
All right. I fully believe it, 100%. I think ghosts are real.
All right. Well, that's it, dude. Let's move on with the rest of the show.
Moving
Guys,
on.
don't leave because we got a little more to offer you all. I hope you're still around. Because
I hope you haven't been taken by the ghost.
we hope that you're still around. All right. We'll be back.
And we're back.
We're back.
Eventually, we're going to get like commercials and stuff for that, right?
Eventually, this will happen.
We just need to start plugging random businesses and then going to hope that they pay for us.
That's actually not a bad idea. Like, maybe we should go recommend different places in Killeen Heights and the area, Central Texas area, and just
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you haven't been to Taqueria Mexico Lindo on Stan Schluter Loop in Killeen, Texas, I would definitely suggest that. They made our dinner for the evening.
They did.
I paid for it, obviously,
Thank you.
because we're not being sponsored by them. But it was delicious.
It was great.
We love tacos.
We
so
do.
Try that spot. It's pretty good. Let's get to our next segment. Hashtag Ask Chris and Tim.
Yes. All right.
So let's hear our first question.
All right, so Jess asked my wife, "What's the stupidest thing you've ever done?" And I can't narrow it down.
We've done so many stupid things.
Okay, I'll probably give the one that stands out to me the most. When I was in high school, I was driving my dad's truck, and it was spring break.
I remember this.
And okay, so back in the day, we had a volleyball court in the middle of what is now the church parking lot, and so we had a field that was on the other side of that volleyball court, or volleyball sand pit, whatever. And so I decided, hey, I want to listen to some music while we play out in the field. So I got in the car, which by the way is only a 2-wheel drive, and I get onto the sand, and we're doing fine, and then I decide to stop for whatever dumb reason. And then I decide to put it on go, and it doesn't go.
Yeah. You got your tires stuck in a sand pit.
The church volleyball
In a
court.
church volleyball court. I also remember we tried to put wooden 2x4s under it to give you some grip, and it just launched them. If anybody had been back there, they would have died. That would have been game over for them. It would have cut them in half.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was such a good time.
I forgot about
Oh, man. What is the dumbest thing I've done? I've done a lot of dumb things. I think one of the dumbest things I've done was I like to start fights with other people. Not me and other people. I like to start fights between two people that I do not know. So I think I might have ended a really, really strong relationship. I was at a concert one time, and I was throwing things at this girl, and she thought it was her boyfriend. And I kept throwing things at her, and she was like, "If you don't stop, I'm leaving."
Okay, but if it gets to that point, there must have been some other baggage already happening.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's a crazy story. So I'm throwing stuff at her, and she ends up getting mad, and she leaves, you would expect.
Right.
And he runs out after her. And then later on that night, there was a car accident. I don't know if it was them. I have no idea. But in my head, I do that. So this leads me to the stupidest thing I've ever done. Somebody offered me concert tickets to go with them to see one of my favorite bands, Flogging Molly.
Yeah.
I did not go because I was still feeling guilty about that concert. And I think turning down those concert tickets was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Wow. That did not go where I thought it was going to go.
Right? It was a roller coaster. That's exactly what I wanted from this story. Yeah. No,
very
truthfully, I don't know the stupidest thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of stupid things.
Oh, man. All right, what's the next question?
Next question would be from Micah. I believe this is one of your friends.
Yeah.
Micah. Who do you think will win round 16? I'm assuming that's a sports ball question.
Sports ball. It's basketball, college madness.
March Madness.
March Madness.
March Madness for college ball. I'm familiar.
College ball.
Is UT a thing? Are they in there?
Yeah.
I'm voting UT then.
All right, go UT. I'm gonna go for my dad's alumni, and I'm gonna go for Iowa. So.
All right, there you go. That's
those are our
literally
picks.
as much as I know about sports ball. So.
Micah, apologies, but we have no idea about anything regarding college basketball.
The last basketball game I cared about, Michael Jordan was playing. So there you go. That's all I got.
But wait, do you remember the one time where we were I think it was your birthday, or it was maybe, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was your birthday, and your dad got tickets to go to a college UT game.
Yeah, I remember that. And it was going to be me, you, and Dre.
Right.
And
then we wake up on a Saturday morning, we're getting ready to go to the game, because it was supposed to be like an early afternoon game.
Yeah.
And we get in the car, and who finds out?
I think it was you. I'm pretty sure you're the one that found out.
I'm looking at the stuff online. I'm like, it was supposed to be like UT versus Baylor or something. And I remember looking at it, I'm like, oh, cool. Did they start already? Wait, they finished. This game was yesterday.
Yeah, the game was yesterday. It was the day before we got into the car to go to this game that my dad had bought tickets for my birthday.
So, didn't we just go like to CC's Pizza or something?
Yeah, we just ended up at like a pizza place, and we went to an arcade. My dad felt so bad. Dad, if you're listening, I forgive you. I forgive you.
I love that story because you know what? I even then I wasn't into like college basketball, so it would have been fine. But like I genuinely love that.
You know
story
what? That's
because
not
of that.
even the first. That's not even the only time that's happened to us. Because for your bachelor party, we were supposed to go to Six Flags. I bought season passes for both of us to go.
Yeah.
And then we get in the car, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be it. And on the way there, we're in Austin already.
Right.
You decide for some reason just to look up everything because you're the researcher.
Right.
And you realize Six Flags is closed. So I call them, and I'm like, hey, are you guys closed? And they're like, yeah, we're closed. Why?
The season's done. Like
No,
wasn't like the end of the season or
No,
something?
it just hadn't started yet.
Oh.
So I'm like, I just bought these tickets, and the girl was like, yeah, you bought the tickets for the season of the end of this year and the beginning of next year, but we're not in season right now. Those tickets don't start until like the week after next. And I called and I asked when I bought these tickets.
Someone
She was
lied.
like, I don't know who told you what, but we're not open. So we just ended up in Austin for the day.
Yeah.
So there you go. Maybe that's the dumbest thing I've ever done. So to answer your question, Jess, your husband's bachelor party was the dumbest thing I've ever done, and not for the traditional bachelor party dumb reasons.
Oh, that's funny. All right, next up, Harley asked, what is your dream car? I think we actually shared this one.
It's close.
Oh, okay, what is yours?
So mine is a 65 Shelby 427 Super Coupe.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sure you've seen Jay Leno's blue car
Yeah.
with I think it's 35 on the side or 16, whatever the number is. Doesn't matter. $35 million car.
Wow.
That car, I would murder a human being for.
You would become a ghost for that car.
I would make a ghost for that
You
car.
would make a ghost.
And then I would leave the country so that ghost couldn't haunt me.
Right. Mine would be a 1967 Shelby Mustang Cobra, otherwise known as Eleanor.
From Gone in 60 Seconds.
That's right. And so that one, I always like Shelby's. Those are always really awesome, beautiful cars. But I love that one.
That's also arguably Nicolas Cage's third best movie, right after National Treasure and National Treasure 2.
Good argument. I like that.
All right. Next up, Andrew asks us, was there ever a time where your friendship was tested, and how did y'all handle it? That, Andrew, is a good question.
It is a good question. When I showed him this question, showed you, Chris, this question, like there was something that came to my mind, but I guess it was just like me feeling guilty for something, and it was like it wasn't even that big of a deal, or if it was a big deal, it's like we got over. I mean, we obviously got over it, but it was just like you made a great point. It's like we never had like anything huge, like we didn't get into fights about anything.
Yeah, it was never like a friendship ending thing that we had to overcome. Like,
Right.
we've had our dumb disagreements. You know, we're human. We're both guys. We haven't actually physically fought, but we've gotten
not
into
yet.
some like shouting matches. But really nothing super hard to overcome. No.
You know, even in high school, like we hung around the same people.
More or less, yeah.
We've dated the same girl, dated, put that in quotations,
As much as you can as
in
a
high school, yeah.
Christian kid. Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, like I can't think of anything where we like Chris said, we're not perfect. Like we've always agreed on everything, but it's just, I don't know. We've always just naturally clicked. We're not the same people, and I think that's helped because we kind of balance each other out in our own different ways. And so, no, there's nothing ever that's really made us like, consider our friendship done. And I think that's a good sign of a good friend, is that you can have your disagreements, you can have your arguments, and you can not agree on everything, and yet you can realize that that's not the most important thing, that you agree on everything. There's some fundamentals that you need to have, but like even then, it's like, man, if you've been around each other long enough, and as long as you don't drive each other crazy, I mean, everything's gonna be cool. Everything gonna be good.
Yeah,
that's a good friend.
Sometimes you need to drive each other crazy on some topics, but outside of that, like you said, you don't have to agree on everything to be good friends.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that if you have had a situation like that, like you guys aren't good friends or anything like that. It's just for our friendship, we've never had to put it to the test in that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, please send in your questions. Send it to our social media, Facebook, comment on our podcast on Apple Pod, Spotify, whatever have you. Send your questions to alwaysmorepod@gmail.com. We will do our best to get your questions on the show.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right, so next segment, quick one, easy one, fun one of my favorites, shower thoughts with Chris.
All poetry is spoken word if you read it out loud.
Whoa!
Right?
What?
Right?
Huh.
And this has been Shower Thoughts with Chris.
Oh, that was good. Nice.
All right, so our next topic, Tim's Well, Actually.
Okay. So we talked about the movie Sixth Sense, and despite popular belief among humans, us human beings, we actually have more than just 5 senses. Actually, some scientists, some people actually argue there's up to like 53. That
sounds like a lot.
Now, there's like fundamental senses that we have, and I think those are like actually 7 or 9. But like we have like these other ones. Like there's one called thermoception, and it's like the sense of heat. Like, it's more than just touch. It's like you can feel, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a scientist here. I haven't studied that much of it. But it's like you just feel heat. Another one is nociception, which is the perception of pain. It's different from touch. It's a man, I don't know how to explain it.
It's like an extra sensory perception of the body.
Yeah. And then another one, and again, this is just something that I looked up. Proprioception is the perception of body awareness. So here's a test for you. If you're not driving, close your eyes and touch your nose. There it is. You just used it. You knew where your body, you knew where it was.
There's a word for it. Yeah. That's cool.
There's a word for it. So, yeah. And that's my, well, actually.
53 different senses. Wow, that's intense. All right, well, let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. Let's just get some final thoughts on ghosts. That's extra creepy when we're talking about ghosts. I don't like it anymore.
Final thoughts. I mean, I'll go first because I just... I think it's just like what I've talked about before. I treat the topic of ghosts like I do about a lot of things in Scripture. There's some things that I have not experienced myself. That does not mean that I know it all and that is not real. That's why we all have our own experiences. That's why we do church. That's why we have connections. That's why relationships are so important, is because we all deal with different things in different places and different concepts. And so, ghosts, fun to talk about, fun to joke about, can be scary.
Definitely, definitely scary.
I mean, I already gave my, do I think it's real or not? But I think, I don't know. I think there's always more room to talk about it, because it's always it's an interesting topic, because it can mean a lot to a lot of people in different ways.
Right.
And that's an interesting thing to think about. It's like, to some people in some cultures, it's a big deal, and to some people, it's like, whatever.
And see, that's my thing on it. Like, because it's such a big deal to some cultures that are completely removed from each other.
Yeah.
I think ghosts are absolutely real. Whether they are the way that media portrays them is another issue.
Right.
But, Native Americans have their theories. Europeans have their theories. South Americans have their theories. Africa, Asia, all of that. Any country with people has a theory on ghosts.
Yeah.
They have rituals and culturalistic things that lend to the existence of ghosts, even though they can't be scientifically proven,
Yeah.
or rather they haven't yet. You're right. There's always more to discuss about it. There's always something that somebody can say, a new experience that we haven't heard,
Right.
that may lend one way or the other.
And just remember, Jesus was a ghost.
All right. Well, that's all from the Always More podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. We love having you. We appreciate you. You are the reason we do this.
Yes, yes. And guys, don't forget to rate us, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to us. We love to know and we love to hear from you. Is that it, Chris? Is that all we have?
I think that's it, man. Just let us know what you guys want to hear from us. If you guys have any suggestions or topics or questions, send them in.
That's it, guys. We love y'all. See y'all next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Always More podcast. For further information and to contact Chris or Tim, you can email them at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at AlwaysMorePod.
I feel like you're questioning me.
I am always questioning you, but I question everything. Don't take it personal.